All right, Coach, tough loss last week. What was your takeaway from week 2?
Taking nothing away from DuQuoin, they played a really good game. Every moment that they needed to complete, when they needed to capitalize on key times, they did a really good job of that. And we did the opposite. We shot ourselves in the foot multiple times, whether it was the turnovers. We had 4 turnovers in the game. We had problems with our punt team and putting us in bad field position. And we told our men there that again, DuQuoin won that game, but we put ourselves in a position where it took us completely out of that game. We gave them that game.
Yeah, when you look at the differences, it looked like you guys beat yourselves. Do you think without those turnovers, it's a whole different ballgame?
Absolutely, I think it is. Coach Spain's got them coached up well, and it was going to be a tight game and a tough game anyways. But absolutely, we put ourselves in a better position, taking care of the ball. We had key moments where we started to move the ball, and then we just fall flat. So we take away those 2 bad punts, we take away those turnovers. Absolutely, I think it's a far different ball game.
Are you seeing any good consistency between? I know it's short, but week 1 to 2.
Consistency of our boys owning our mistakes that we're making and realizing how to make them better. I know we kind of shored up some of the mistakes we made from week 1 into week 2, but then we had new mistakes. But this week of practice, Monday through Thursday, we had boys owning up to mistakes they made. They were showing us, Coach, I did this in this game. I think we need to do this better on me running this route or getting to this block or any type of reading the offense or defensive line. So we saw some extreme ownership, which was huge for us and these young men, and actually coming out and ready to work on it.
Did they enjoy film?
No, they didn't, and they knew from Friday when we got them. It was, guys, you're not going to enjoy tomorrow. They knew it. And when I walked in, they all got real quiet and knew exactly what it was. And it was not a short film session. Yeah. And every time I showed it to them, they agreed. 1 block here, and literally I stopped counting after about 8 or 9. 1 block here, and this play goes from a 1 or 2 yard gain to a gash play.
We'll talk a little bit about special teams, assuming you guys have worked on that. Extra points have been a struggle, not necessarily the kick. It's just getting the ball held and then, like you said, the punting.
Right, absolutely. And so we've shored that up of just taking snap after snap after snap, just taking reps, implementing. We like the quarterback punt. We're not completely abandoning it, but absolutely working with a standard punt formation and working with our kickers there. Right now we got Aiden Hankins as our punter right now. He's a young kid, but he's athletic and does a good job for us. But going into what makes us feel comfortable, we've adjusted our quarterback punt to where we're more confident in how we're doing it. But yeah, just that moment of it gives you that emotion of when it's going wrong, you just want to just cut it all loose and say, no, we're not doing it. But going back to the drawing board and trying to just improve it to make it better and more bulletproof.
And maybe explain to people, because a lot of people are like, okay, why is Owen showing that he's not going to punt? Like, why isn't he showing, you send unthinking motion? Mm-hmm. Maybe explain to people that actually is a play and potentially you might not punt if you have somebody open.
Right, and that's the whole thing of we went into summer and into this early fall and working on regular punt, and we knew last year a little bit we worked with Owen doing QB punt. Owen, when he gets connection on it, I mean, he really is netting anywhere from 30, 40-yard punts with that end over end and rolling. With us doing that capability, unthinks in motion, we now have a capability of Owen going to the edge, being able to run it, being able to throw and dump it that way, running screenplay off the back of it. It opens up an offensive potential, and against the defense, they see it. Are they going to respect punt and drop back, or are they going to respect our quarterback and stay up? And that gives us even a potential better field position. Now, when we watched the film on Friday and we saw that our end protection is getting caved in, he's going to run into that and it doesn't work. So again, by design, we still like it very much. We had to get short up on how we run it.
How are we health-wise after week 2?
Week 2, we had a couple of banged up guys. Right now we're working with Colton Wheeler. He was our starting DN for us. We were nervous. The original initial read was he'd fractured bones in his leg. They went for a secondary scan on it. It came back that it was just a sprain. So thank goodness for that. Still one of those, anytime you have an ankle sprain, could be a week. Yeah. Sometimes it's that problem of getting him back. So that was a sigh of relief and trying to get him better. But outside of that, just the usual, it's now week 3. Nobody's 100%, so just the aches and bumps here and there.
Well, Pinckneyville last year, you guys didn't have trouble with them at home, 40-0. Now you go to their place. How do you assess the 0-2 Panthers this year?
Watching the film, they go up against Chester, who we scouted against DuQuoin last week, and Chester's a good ball club. Watching their quarterback for Pinckneyville, they're under center. They come out of 1 or 2 formations. So defensively, Coach Allen had a real thin playbook of this is what they run, but they run it well. They're well coached. They're good athletes. The quarterback, a lot of his throws, it was made in a rush, and he's thrown off the back of his foot or on his heels. and he's still putting it on receivers. So anytime they can get the receivers loose, and our secondary's got to be there to make plays. On the flip side of that, whether they played Redbud or Chester, we saw that team being able to make some key turnovers and interceptions on that because it's a rush throw. But offensively with them, they're a well-oiled machine because it's very simple. Right, they're going to motion you to get distraction and run at it. Defensively, their secondary is very good. They give you a lot of cushion, but they're not going to give up the deep ball. So we've learned from that from DuQuoin and where we can adjust our attack against them defensively. Up front, they got a couple of tall kids. I think the heaviest kid was 235 though, so not big bruisers like you're used to, but they get off the ball quick and use their hands well.
Do you think they have the pieces to cause issues for you guys?
Absolutely. If we come out flat and not ready to play and not assignment sound with our football, they can absolutely cause us problems. If we play our game and do what we've been coached to do, we should be confident, not cocky, going into Friday.
Weather could play a factor. That's the big question mark right now. Does that make protecting the ball number one for Friday night?
Absolutely, it does. Looking at the weather forecast, I've seen anywhere from 60 to 30%. I think so. You're preparing for it today at practice. Henry Quinn, our center, and Owen hate me because I do wet ball drill. I'm literally just dumping water on that ball every 5 seconds, but it's something that you prepare for, and that's the great equalizer of. The rain doesn't care because it's equal for both teams and we got to play through it. So we have an offense that we believe that we are geared to run, and that was a big challenge with our offensive line this week. I gave them a challenge question of what is our identity as a program, and the offensive line had to answer me, what is our identity? And they told me, Coach, we're going to make it known that we can run, and we can run through people, and we're going to get that established. So our offensive line's itching for the opportunity to show that, and if it's a wet ball game, so be it, they're ready for it. So, yeah, it does play a huge factor in all of that. Obviously, we got Owen and a good receiving core around him, so we love to get out and throw the ball. But even if we can't, our offense can still foot to foot and pound it right up the middle.
So other than just taking care of the ball, what's the biggest key against Pinckneyville?
Taking care of the ball and just being assignment sound. That is going to be the key of that, where last week we had a couple things here and there on every position you look at and just doing the little things right that lead to the big plays. We did the little things wrong, and it was a big situation and it was glaring for us. So this week we got back to school, as we call it, and just doing the drills and skills and everything we had to do right. So, yes, taking care of the ball, limit turnovers, win the turnover battle, come out with some intensity. Last week we did not. We were trying to reel and come back with DuQuoin coming out with all the intensity. So, intensity, assignment sound, take care of the ball.
Well, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.